Okay, article of the month for November. This is Europe imposes new restrictions as COVID-19 cases soar. New regulations and social distancing rules are being introduced across multiple European countries in an attempt to stop the spread of the coronavirus as the second wave of the pandemic accelerates across the continent. Europe reports more than 1.3 million new cases this past week, its highest single week yet count, according to the World Health Organization. Spain and France each surpassed 1 million cumulative confirmed cases last week, becoming the sixth and seventh countries to do so globally. Italy, Germany, Belgium, and Czech Republic and the United Kingdom are also experiencing record numbers, threatening to overwhelm countries' abilities to test, trace, and contain the virus. Polish President Andrzej Duda tested positive for the virus over the weekend, and cases there have doubled in recent weeks. Europe's infection rate has been rising for more than 90 days, according to European Center for Disease Prevention and Control. As authorities and experts worry that the situation in Europe may soon spin out of control, governments are imposing curfews and social restrictions in an attempt to avoid full-scale lockdowns, and that could hurt the economy and dim upcoming holiday season. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez declared a national state of emergency on Sunday, which included a nighttime curfew and possible travel restrictions between regions. Italy also announced new measures to curb the virus, the harshest since its lockdown in the spring when the country was a global epicenter of the pandemic. UK Health Secretary Matt Hancock announced a move to a high alert level for London and other cities as of October 17th, banning residents from mixing with people from other households indoors and restricting outdoor gatherings to 6 people or fewer. Last week, Ireland became the first country in Europe to reimpose a lockdown in face of soaring cases. Wales began a 17-day lockdown this weekend, shuttering all non-essential businesses and requiring people to remain home with a few exceptions. If we do this now, and if we then have a consistent set of national rules to keep the transmission and the intensity of the virus at a lower level, then we can have a much more normal Christmas season for our businesses. Von Gathing, the Welsh health minister, told BBC Radio Wales. France became the worst hit country in Europe's second wave, with more than 40,000 new cases every day in the past few days. Nightly curfews have been in place in several cities since mid-October, and this weekend multiple curfews were enacted, bringing the total number of people affected to around 46 million, or about 2/3 of France's population. The second wave is here, French Prime Minister Jean Castex said in a press conference when the new restrictions were announced. The situation is grave. Okay, looking at our grasp for our article of the month on Europe imposes new restrictions as COVID-19 cases soar. Looking at key people and events, I have listed 2 people from the article that were quoted in the article. There were other people quoted if you want to add them or add a third person. What is the main idea in your opinions of this article? So the main idea is that Europe imposed new restrictions on COVID-19. You may want to also state here, why did they impose these new restrictions? talk about the increase in cases and its rapid spread across Europe. Evidence for this, you want to add a quote that references your why to support that. Keywords and quotes, I put a couple in here from the article. I think the most important is right at the end where the French Prime Minister talks about the situation is grave, meaning it's very bad for them. Okay, now you're going to go to number 2, where you look back at the article and add any key pieces of information you missed. You do want to reread the article. It's a good way to get the facts and help you with the writing process. Go back and prioritize crossing off any information that is absolutely essential. Do you need to add anything in your top 3 boxes? Now, number 4, generate synonyms for keywords and restate the key ideas and themes in your opinion about the article affects you, your community, and your world should clearly be stated. So that's here, key ideas and themes in your own words. What was this article about? How would it impact you? Identify a clarifying question. Is there something you need to clarify, like on the data, like what was the original numbers before the new wave started? Were they lowering? Keywords and synonyms. You should have 2 keywords here, and then list the synonym. You should have two words and 2 synonyms. And then in your opinion, clearly state and support is. Do you agree or disagree with Europe's new COVID restrictions? Write a statement in here. I agree or disagree with Europe's new restrictions. State why you agree and your evidence. And you're going to use this whole section here in your paper that you're going to be writing. All right, for your paper that you're going to be writing, you're going to focus in on this key information to start your paper off. Article, title of the article, written by, focused on, COVID-19 spread, increase numbers, spread through Europe. Talk about, according to, this is your key events from your grasp. Talk about a situation that occurred in Europe, the restrictions that were imposed, the reasons that they were imposed. So that should be about 2 to 3 sentences. Then you're going to write in about 2 to 3 sentences your thoughts where you agreed or disagreed with Europe's implementations of their new restrictions. You stated why in your graphic organizer. You're going to write that and your evidence in quotation marks. Then you'll have in conclusion, I believe this impacts me because. Do you know how European restrictions will impact you? It could be product development being shipped to the United States. It could be, could this happen to America in our next wave as COVID increases? I feel that it's important to blank, make sure you discuss and reference larger implications in the community and the world. How will this affect the world with Europe shutting down? And restate your point of view.